Welcome back for another build order. Today we are going to talk about my ZvP, which I'm using right now in Diamond 3. I'm going to analyze a game against the Diamond Protoss Styx Zandilla. It was a very good opponent, and I appreciate the game that we played. So this is the Eastwatch LE. This is one of the biggest maps in the pool right now. So ZvP is, in my opinion, for Zerg, all about timing attacks. And if you can hit a very crisp, clean timing against a Protoss player, especially this Hydra push I do, it's very easy to kind of take home the win. So the opener is the standard opener I use in every match. It's a hatch gas pool. 17 hatch, 18 gas, 17 pool. And then I take a third a little bit later at like about the 3-minute mark, which I will explain to you. So let me walk through my build order and my thought process about this. So again, your first Overlord, I send out to the first ramp to check for probe rushes. If there's a probe in my base before this point, before the minute mark, I know I'm getting probe rushed. So this is a big, just trying to play be a jerk game. So there's my 17 hatch. My second Overlord is going towards the high ground towards his base. I just need to see if he's moving out. That's all I need to do with it. So again, these two cocoons are rallied out for my gas at 18. And then the pool at 17. And this probe, be careful. Sometimes they will try to block your probe, block your pool. So I just did a little bit of fancy micro there. It's not necessary, but I pulled his probe away and I put my pool down where I wanted it to be. I could have put the pool up here or over here or anywhere, but that probe will sometimes be a nuisance to you. And then he's going to put his probe over to see when I'm taking my third. So 17 hatch, 18 gas, 17 pool into 20 Overlord. Oh, I think I screwed this up. Yeah, I missed my 19 Overlord, but it's not a problem. I still do a really crisp, clean timing on this one. So instead, I'm going to open up, I think, a third base earlier because I screw it up and I'm supply blocked for 16 years. So maybe that's what I did on this. There it is. I've got 2 lings. I will be starting speed as soon as possible. And I'm rallying out to this base. So I'm a little supply blocked here because of this. I'm making 2 Overlords now. It's kind of a mistake on my point, but if you make the 17 Overlord, this build doesn't really change too much. So take a quick third shebang right at 250 or 245 to 250. You're going to take your third base. I've got my lings over here to protect it because that probe was kind of being a jerk. So 2 minute 45 third base, and then I'm getting as fast as I can. My target is to get up to 51 workers and 5 gases. 51 workers, 5 gases. Now I'm going to pull off of gas as soon as I start my spawning pool, as soon as I start speed. And I'm going to wait until I have 100 minerals, and I'm going to take a very, very, very fast layer. But until now, I don't really need to worry about what he's doing over there. And you can see my Overlord's pretty safe because the current meta is Phoenix first, and they start sniping off your Overlords. So I don't need my Overlords to be super far out on the map on this build. I'm going to be across the map with a lot of pressure very early. So he's actually checking to see when I'm taking my 4th. Very interesting. So I'm going to defend this with queens, basically. So here we go. Start of the 345, you start the lair before the Roach Warden. I know it seems crazy, but I know he's not moving out with anything because I've got vision across the map. So at this point, when you start your lair, you're taking your third and you refill the gas in your main. Then you start droning up your third base. And again, if you see units coming, you need to start making Ling Bane. Or you need to start making lings and queens. But as much as possible, you should always have 1 queen somewhere in the works. So yeah, I'm making 2 queens right now, just so I have some basic defense, especially now I see he's going Phoenix first. When I see this, I know that this build is going to work very, very well. So again, I'm still just making as many drones as I can and queens to defend. I'm starting to rally out to the next base. I've saturated. I'm starting to send drones out to the third, so I'm going to saturate a third gas right about 4 minutes. And this is very important. As soon, right here, 4 minutes 45 seconds. As soon as your layer finishes, you will take not 1, but 2 hydralisk dens. Let me explain. I'm going to skip out on any +1 attack for right now. But as soon as these Hydra Dens finish, I'm going to start both of their upgrades at the same time. So I'm banking up my gas as much as I can at this point because I want to... I'm banking up my gas as much as I can at this point because I want to make a big flood of Hydras as soon as I can. Alright? So I've got queens at the main, queens at the second, queen at my third. I'm still making queens right now, 2 at a time. I'm making overlords to not get blocked. I'm making some spines because I know he's coming in, but I've hit my 50 workers. If I didn't make the spines, I would be at 51 workers. Now, Hydralisk Den's finished, get both upgrades at the same time, and now we are not going to do anything but make Hydralisks. And as soon... So yeah, he's coming in to try to attack me. I should have transfused this queen, but watch this. As soon as that one's done, I got another one out right at the moment. So he can do all the fancy micro he wants. I'm not gonna care about it. I'm going to wait until these 2 upgrades are finished, and then I'm going to move out across the map. I'm rallying my Hydras out to my third base because this is the area where I have the fewest queens. In my main, I've got, quite a few queens right now. Somewhere I might have moved them down. I'm moving them down to my third because I think I can defend up here with just Hydras. So here we go. I'm getting my upgrades are finishing right now. And just because there's a little bit of pressure on this side, I didn't move my Hydras out right away. You should really be moving out earlier. So I'm going to take this, and there's my upgrade. There's my upgrade. So here it is. I've got 100 supply, right about 6 minutes and 30 seconds, and now it's time to move out as soon as those upgrades are finished. How you follow this up is you take you get an infestation pit. You get a lurker den. And you get your upgrades started right now. It's very late upgrades, but remember, I've already spent a lot of money into range and muscular augments. So now let's see how this goes, right? I'm still just making Hydras behind this. At this point, I just walk into his base, and he knows that there's nothing he can do right now about this. And I get the GG. So he's got just this little army right here that he's trying to do whatever he wants to do with. But this is the build that I've been doing, and it's been pretty unstoppable. This was probably the cleanest execution I had of it, just because he never harassed me. So I showed the ZvZ before, and it's when I showed the ZvZ, I was getting a lot of harassment, so it was kind of difficult to understand what should I be doing on this ZvZ? What's your build order? So I wanted to pick something very clean for my ZvP build order. But basically, hatch gas pool, pull off of gas as soon as you start ling speed, and then you need detection downrange to see if he's going to push out at all with anything. If he is, you need to start making a lot of workers. But you should always be making queens in your bases to defend any push. As soon as you get 100 gas from one mining drone, right about 3 minutes 45 seconds, you start your layer. And as fast as possible, you drone up to 51 drones. I was making spore crawlers, so I lost a little bit more drones than I should have made. And then you get anywhere between 4 and 5 gases. This time I had to spend a bunch of drones into these spore crawlers, so I decided to not get my 5th gas. But I was banking up quite a few minerals right there at the end where I could have spent more and teched into it. As soon as the layer is finished, you get 2 Hydralisk dens and you start banking up gas, so you can get a big swell of Hydras. As soon as the Hydralisk dens finish, +1 range. Oops, what is it? You get +1 range, and then the Hydra speed, and you start massing Hydras. Soon as those upgrades hit, you should be across the map pushing into his base. Now, you can take his third, you could take his natural. I mean, it doesn't really matter. This push is so hard to defend at 6 minutes unless he's trying to do some kind of a 2-base all-in. And even if he is doing a 2-base all-in, right now in Diamond 3, I'm still able to win with this push if I switch over to Lurker right now at this point. So you get some crucial damage done with this Hydra push, and then you tech into Lurkers when you're on a bigger economy than he is, and you win with Lurker. So worst case is you can tech into Spire afterwards and go Broodlords if he's kind of bunkering in. Send some Broodlords up into the main while you're attacking his third with Hydras, and there's nothing you can do about it. So kind of a short video today. I hope you learned something. Try this build out on the ladder. It's pretty nasty. Shout out to Loco TV for this build. After they tried to nerf this build by taking the upgrades and separating them, all you have to do really is to skip out on +1 damage attack and take it as you're moving out across the map, so it comes later. But besides that, you saw Diamond 3, just GG. Thanks for watching.